So I definitely don't usually review microphones, but I know a lot of you are starting your home studios and need some type of microphone to either record your voice or a vocalist or instruments, and the price range on mics can vary greatly, and I know a lot of you are looking for an affordable option. So today, we're going to be checking out the Tonor Q9 USB microphone kit. Now, Tonor is sponsoring this video today, which is cool, but the best part about it is they're also sponsoring a giveaway. So stay tuned and watch the video to find out how you can enter to win your own Tonor Q9 USB microphone. This microphone is about $70 currently on Amazon, so we're gonna judge it accordingly. We're not gonna go ahead and compare this to something like, my $300 Bluebird, but I might use the Bluebird as a point of reference, as well as the SM58, which is a dynamic microphone as opposed to a condenser microphone like the Q9 and the Bluebird. But we'll talk about that in a bit. If you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is TAETRO, your electronic music mentor. Let's start by unboxing the Q9. One of the really convenient things about this is for $70, you get this entire kit, which let's see what that includes. A pop filter, a little foam cover, a shock mount, the USB cable, a boom arm, which is super useful and I think underrated for the home studio. I'm using one here. It's essentially just this mic arm that attaches to your desk, and you can get your mic right where you want it to go, but if you're gonna stand up, you can also extend it, and it comes with its own boom arm. Usually people associate boom arms with streamers and stuff, but they're not bad for the home studio music producer either. We have the manual for the Q9 and the microphone itself. It's a very good looking microphone, black. The build quality is solid. It's made of metal. The grill looks like it goes all the way around, which I think will be confusing for some people. I'm going to assume that the part here with this little, what seems to be a volume rocker or volume buttons, is the front. Okay, so right off the bat here, what I'm excited about is you get a lot in this kit. You don't have to go and buy another mic stand or your own boom arm or even your own shock mount. A lot of mics actually don't come with a shock mount, which does a lot to absorb any vibrations. It kind of suspends the microphone in here. Many come with, your basic screw-on mic clip, which for condensers, which are especially sensitive, you want something like a shock mount to absorb any unnecessary vibrations and not let them get to the microphone. That all said, we definitely have to see how this microphone sounds. So let's hook all this up and get it going. This is not a half bad looking setup for $70. Oh, I just realized I did not turn my key light on. All right, a little more light. Is that better? Now it connects to your computer via a USB-B cable. This is important because if you're unfamiliar with microphones, a lot of microphones actually use a cable called an XLR cable. It's your typical microphone cable. It has 3 pins, which, match up here on the back end of microphones. And in order to connect more traditional microphones to your computer, you need something called an audio interface. These boxes you've probably seen before because they have XLR ports on them. Add one more layer of complication, condenser microphones specifically, like this shotgun microphone here and this, proper condenser right here, require something called phantom power. This is something that is generally supplied by an audio interface or by a preamp. It's not like you plug it into the wall, it's more like a switch you press. Usually it says something like plus 48 volts, which the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 has, my Complete Audio 6 has. Most modern interfaces have phantom power. That all said, the Q9 is a USB microphone. It doesn't use an XLR cable. It doesn't need to be connected to an audio interface or get some special source of phantom power because everything is handled over USB. So it's one layer of complication. So for the home studio musician or somebody who is traveling a lot that doesn't want to travel with a lot of gear, aka like a big bulky XLR cable or a big bulky audio interface, a USB microphone is actually a good option. Some of my first microphones were USB microphones. So from here on out, we might jump around and switch between what microphone you're actually hearing. So I'll be sure to label it at the bottom of the screen which microphone's audio is actually being played. And now we are running audio on the Tonor Q9 USB microphone. How does it sound in comparison to the audio earlier? So my laptop fan is running now, which is likely a factor because we're recording this in Ableton Live. I'm not adding any gain to the file. I'm recording at 0 dB. And the microphone on the front, like I noted before, does have a volume rocker. Now, I brought it all the way down so that I couldn't actually get any audio out of the microphone, and then I brought it up about 8 clicks. I wish it had a dial so I could give you a percentage or, a time on the clock, but I can't because it's volume up and down. So I have it at this volume, which seems to be a fairly comfortable volume, and if I start to add more, you're likely hearing a little bit more of my laptop fan, but a little bit more clarity from me. And this is a typical scenario in a home studio. We're very limited by the space that we have. So if your laptop is running and the fan is just burning hot on your laptop, then it's something you're gonna have to deal with. Usually, if this wasn't a straight up microphone review and I was just recording a podcast or just a normal video, I would use some noise reduction on this in Final Cut Pro. But since this is strictly a mic review, I want you to get the unfiltered look or listen to the audio. For comparison purposes, now you're hearing me speak on the Audio Technica shotgun mic, which is not a very good direct comparison as this is a shotgun mic. And usually what you see or don't see is this out of the frame, aiming down at a speaker. They use them in interviews. I use mine for interviews and for videos, and sometimes it's out of the frame because it's very directional. But I grew to really love how this mic sounds for things like voiceover and podcasting and for my YouTube videos. And now we're back on the Q9, which let me just bring down 2 clicks of gain. So you can hear that difference right there. I clicked the minus button twice. I can also mute and unmute the microphone by holding those buttons down. I may add a little gain in post in the video editor just to bring it up to the same level as everything else. If I did adjust the gain, I'll note it on screen. Now, as I said before, it's not a great idea to go ahead and compare this to a shotgun mic, even though that is one of my favorite voiceover mics. It's also a bit more expensive. Let's directly compare it to another condenser microphone. Even though it's not really a comparison, it's just a reference point. This microphone, the Bluebird, $300. This microphone, the Q9, $70. Big price difference there, but we can at least get a feel for the difference in sound. And now you are hearing the sound of my Bluebird microphone. Now, Blue's microphones are very, very, very sensitive, so let me know what you think about the audio in comparison to the Q9. For both of these microphones, I'm holding them about 4 to 5 inches away from my mouth. I actually don't have a pop filter in front of this one, but I should. So here it is now with the pop filter, the Bluebird microphone, which conveniently I lost the actual shock mount for in the move. It's in some box somewhere. But yes, this is the Bluebird, a $300 condenser microphone that will require you to get an audio interface, an XLR cable, and provide it with phantom power. And just as a reminder, here we are back on the Tonor Q9 microphone. If I could give you one more comparison or reference point, it would be the Shure SM58, which is probably the most common microphone. It is a dynamic microphone, so it does not require phantom power. Usually you see these used in live performance by a singer. And here I am chatting with you on the Shure SM58. Now with dynamic microphones, you can see I'm much, much closer to this microphone and the level is much, much lower because these are mostly meant for live performance. You can, of course, record with them. A lot of people do. People also use the Shure SM57 for a lot of instrument or percussion purposes. It just depends on what type of sound you're going for and, of course, how you process that sound. But again, this is a dynamic microphone that does require an XLR cable but does not require phantom power. The Q9 is a USB condenser microphone that gets its phantom power from the computer all with one USB connection. This dynamic microphone costs about $100 on average. The Q9 costs $70. And we are back on the Q9 USB condenser microphone. I am speaking directly... Here we go. I'm speaking directly into the front of the microphone. Now, it did come with the pop filter, which I'm using. And if I wanted to swap that out, I could use the included foam cover, I guess you call these. And now I'm right up on the Q9 using the foam cover. Now, likely you're probably getting a very clear sound. You can probably hear a lot more of what's going on inside my mouth. But using this foam cover is hopefully blocking some plosives, which are those P popping sounds, which the pop filter probably does a better job of protecting us against. Let's check those plosives on the Q9 from Tonor. Is this pop filter doing a better job at protecting the Q9 from pops? Likely yes, but I'm a little bit further away from the microphone, which means I might have to either turn the gain up a little bit or bring the gain up later in post. If I was going to use it, I would likely opt for the foam cover, just because it takes up a little less space and I can get a little bit closer without cranking the gain, so I get a little bit less of that laptop fan sound. But I actually purchased this on Amazon a while ago because, like I said, my blue microphone is very, very sensitive. And I'm generally working in my home studio, not in a vocal booth, not in a treated room, so I need a bit of protection. So this is basically a foam cover that I will link below that goes over any microphone and kind of protects from the sound all around it, protects from reflections. So let's go ahead and throw this on the Q9 and see how it changes the sound. And now we are using the Q9 inside the Alctron PF8. Please let me know if you hear a reduction in noise here. You should be hearing a bit less laptop fan noise or room reflection. So if you are recording in a home studio and you don't mind looking dumb on camera because there's a big foam thing blocking you, usually that's not a problem because you're recording a vocalist, you're not necessarily filming, all that good stuff. But this also has a pop filter built in, so you're probably not hearing tons of plosives. But I am pretty far away from the microphone as opposed to before when I could get right on the Tonor Q9. But having this protection on probably means that you can crank the gain on the Tonor a little bit higher and not have to worry too much about room sound, laptop fan, all that. It seems my laptop fan has seemingly calmed down, so let's crank up a couple notches. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. One thing to know about a lot of these super inexpensive USB microphones is they can be a bit noisy. So I've just kind of cranked the gain up a bit. We're at a pretty hot high gain right now, as you can probably tell by the sound. But if I'm totally silent, there's a little bit of that's my laptop fan, but my laptop fan has pretty much quieted down now. Most of that is just noise from the microphone. But I would probably never record at such a high volume. If I bring it down, this is actually a listenable level, but I'm not getting that sort of hiss or fuzz that a lot of these cheaper USB microphones are known for. I'm monitoring the Tonor Q9 live right now, and to me it sounds pretty good for $70. I will let you, the listener, be the judge, of course. I'd like to run one more test. I'll grab my acoustic guitar and play a bit into the Tonor Q9 because I can imagine that there are lots of songwriters out there in home studios that use an instrument like the acoustic guitar and would like to mic it up. I have literally not played the guitar in so long. Don't judge. Here's a sound test, the Q9 with the acoustic guitar, whose strings haven't been changed in over a year. By the way, I'm going to do 2 tests, one mic'd around the 12th fret and one mic'd around the sound hole. I'll do some picking and then I'll do some strumming. Alright, sorry for the interruption. Really quick, I didn't want this just to be a boring mic review video, so I figure let me just make a beat. Let me just record a couple quick vocal samples. I'm gonna use Ovox, the Waves plugin. I'm gonna auto-tune the hell out of it. I'm just gonna make a very quick beat so that, you know, we can add a little TAETRO flair to this boring mic review. And you know, here's the thing about doing this review. This is a sponsored review, so there's gonna be people in the comments that are gonna say, oh, he's just being positive just because he's getting paid. Well, no, I'm just trying to be a little bit realistic when I say the Q9 is a good budget USB microphone. Based on all the things that we've heard today, based on all the sounds that we've recorded, you can be the judge about which type of microphone is best for you. If you would like to buy a more expensive microphone to get a better sound, that is of course an option. But for a lot of home studio musicians, especially beginners, you're just trying to get as much as you can for as low of a price as possible. And if that's you, a $70 USB condenser microphone, meaning you don't have to buy a $100 audio interface, pay for a cable, buy a mic stand, buy a separate shock mount if it's not included. For $70, you get the microphone, the shock mount, the pop filter, the boom arm. When I first started recording music, I started by using USB microphones because they were the most affordable and, you know, less problematic option, because with having to use less gear, not using an audio interface, things like that, it's less complicated, so it's more likely that I would be able to get some recordings done. And now USB microphones are still a convenient option if you don't want to bring a full-on condenser system out and about with you, or you want to just have a portable setup to throw in a bag. You're obviously not going to get a robust low end with one of these microphones or even the richest tone. But that is the trade-off you make when you want to get an inexpensive USB microphone. And if you can't afford a super expensive microphone, but you have a lot of great ideas and you want to start making something, I would suggest you get the gear that you can afford as soon as possible so you can start making things as soon as possible. And then eventually you'll upgrade, which of course was the case for me. I didn't start with a $300 microphone. I started with a sub $100 USB microphone. So if you enjoyed this video and you liked the sound of the Q9, today is your lucky day because we are teaming up with Tonor to give away a Tonor Q9 USB microphone kit. So the first thing you need to do is like this video, subscribe to my channel, and then comment down below. Let me know that you entered, let me know what you thought of this microphone, and then use the link in the description to enter a couple different ways. So you can earn points by doing some of the things I just mentioned and a couple other things. Get as many points as you can, and each of those points will be another entry into winning yourself one of these USB microphones. I'll contact the winner directly, and I will also announce it across my social media, Instagram, Twitter, all that. So good luck to all of you that enter the contest. I hope it goes to a lucky winner who definitely needs their first USB microphone. If you don't want to have to worry about the contest and you want to just pick one of these up for yourself, they are pretty affordable. Like I've said several times, $70. Link is in the description. Links to all of the microphones and products that I mentioned today are in the description, and they're affiliate links, so if you use them, they help support the channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and stay tuned to my social media a week from the release of this video so you can find out if you were the winner of the Tonor Q9 USB microphone. This has been TAETRO. Have a good one.